and from what I'm hearing, LaFell, it's Sora Day.
I don't know, man. Starting the very first game of today, the EXP lane has been, I would say, the make it and break it for a lot of these teams. I mean, like, let's talk about this. Ling on a story with only one damage item, just one. Just one, and she got a Maniac. She won a 1v1 against Gagai, against Jessica. Whoever's in front of Ling, they die.
Yeah, I even thought it might have just been a Series 1 thing, because these were two Sora specialists. That was Team Falcon's ID and Twisted Minds, but it just really keeps happening over and over again. And that's on top of the fact that there was barely anyone to stop her from just going in.
I noticed it's all smiles on the side of Galaxy Phoenix. For the side of Seda, as we look in,
thought it might have just
it almost looks like misery and disappointment from that game number one. Nothing seemed to have went well for them. Nothing went right. They did have a moment in time towards the very end before the final push onto the base where they managed to at least stop Galaxy Phoenix at the 1 yard line. However, it only extended the time just a little bit longer.
Can I just say, like, I feel like going up against Galaxy Phoenix is like going through despair, because I don't want to jinx it. I really feel like they can go all the way. I feel like GXP can go to the grand finals because as of right now, like I said, not only do they win, they make it look very easy. Especially, I like how Gideon put it. This is a very plug-and-play kind of draft where sometimes you have a draft where you're waiting for that one person to make a play. But every single hero that they got, Gort can have a long-range stun.
Yeah.
The Boxer can just jump in. And even the Sora, you can either assassinate or set up for your team.
But let's talk about our first action of the game. One of the winning moments, at least, coming out from the side of Seda, or excuse me, Galaxy Esports. We look now at the 8-minute mark. We're getting closer to the fight for the lore, but when we look at the left lane, my goodness, is there a fight developing?
I believe this is the moment where we see Ling get that Maniac. She started off by taking out the gold laner first, the main damage dealer, and then after getting that triple, they're like, okay, you know what, this is mine.
Yeah, and that gold laner kill was so easy because Fanhua, I think, was very active on trying to find those implosion plays, those setup plays. And she does find them. She does get 2 or 3 members every single time, but then what's next? They don't get to actually provide the follow-up. Ling has been always attempting to isolate the backlines.
And we take a look at our second one. Great breakdown. Let's break down another. This one's most likely going to be about 10 minutes in. We're just nearly there. Again, we go back to the mid now, even to the bottom right, and we start seeing another skirmish develop.
This also just shows how individually everyone from Galaxy Phoenix, they can take care of themselves because there's dives. This is basically like a 1v1 everywhere else, and it's just like, you against me, who's gonna win? And every single person from GXP won that bout.
Yeah, and it's great because whoever starts to try and go for the fight and jump in, it's always them also being on the same page. Because sometimes you see people just trying to go for engage, but the targetization seems a bit off. Like they go for very different targets. But in this scenario, GXP, if Fao wants to go in, she jumps on a single member, then you could expect just everyone to focus fire on that before they move on to the next.
One more final moment to check out during that first map that we ended up witnessing, and this time we go to the 11:30 mark. I believe this was one of the first base attempts, and it was in fact Seda Esports who was able to hold them back, but only for a little bit of time.
This is kind of showing how GXP, they're able to win by taking out all the firepower, right? Just like how Brigida has been saying, like, you can have a good setup, but without the damage, it really doesn't matter. It's like getting a bowl of ramen and then having no spoon or fork or anything.
You're just worse.
You're just looking at it.
Give me 2 twigs. I'm still finding a way to eat it.
Imagine having ramen, just nothing. At most, you can just get the soup. That's it.
I'll figure it out, though. LaFell, me and you will figure it out, okay? Bree, that final moment, though, casters were even saying it was one of the cleanest attacks onto a base they've seen.
In a way,
and
I agree. But also, it's partly Seda putting themselves in that position because Fanhua again tried to go for something, and that's with the knowledge that the Belleric still had the Wrath of Dryad. You just always have to be aware that this is such a great catch. This is such a great way to just intercept whatever you want to do. And it's so low effort. They barely had to do anything. Lema just had to wait so she could cast the Wrath of Dryad, and that's it.
Now, one of the things I brought up during the hero selection, breaking it down, is for Seda, they love that Harara. Now, you did point it out, LaFell, that's not a win condition, but more so a piece of the puzzle that Seda Esports is trying to put together. Felt like Seda tried to do this on day one. It actually ended up working out. Relatively similar hero composition. Are they too reliant on the Harara? Do they need to switch things up?
this is also why GXP is so strong because, like I said, they're the masters of rock, paper, scissors. They know the Hirara is going to get picked, right? Instead of batting it out, they allow Seda to just take it so that they can have a draft that makes it so that Hirara could not do anything. They ban out the carry, they ban out the Valir, they ban out all the anti-tank heroes so that they can have all the tank heroes so that Hirara come in and is like, okay, can you kill me? You cannot, then you will die.
Yeah, because we've been saying that you need to set up for the Hirara to be successful. It's not like the Hirara is just the one making things happen. So there are certain conditions that have to be met, and in this case, they did not allow any single one of them to get through.
It was tough, and speaking of not getting through, Bree, I mean, Zhao was the only one with kills onto the side of Seda Esports, having two total eliminations. For Galaxy Phoenix, they had close to 20.
But those all happened in the early game, and that was about it.
One and the late one when she got the clot, right?
Yeah, that too, but most of it just really was when they could really take the Hirara and take advantage of how mobility is reliable, how the burst is slightly reliable, but everything else after that was just countered out here.
It was tough. It really was tough to watch, to say the least. Seda Esports, I know, has so much more potential than what they just showed. I know for a fact they can play better than that. But speaking of playing better than that, what's the game plan? You lost that so quickly, it's even hard to get upset about it. Granted, we did see the player emotions, LaFell, and they were clearly feeling that loss.
Because I really feel like they understood that there was not much that they can do in that game. That was the phases of saying that they knew what we were going to do before we did it. So how do we outplay that? Because let's talk about the bans. Guinevere, one of Fa's best hero, got banned, and she still had the Boxia. She will still have the Link. If you have 5 bans for Fa, she still have a signature hero. That's why I say it feels like despair.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they still have so much to pull out, and they're not even pushed to the limit. Like, every single draft feels like they've just been expecting everything to come out, and they eventually get a hold of what they want.
You know, coming into this again, and I keep bringing it up because I think it's such a cool story, Seda Esports was built for the MWI stage, but that means their hero pool as well. Do you think they're maybe overextending past their comfort zone and they're finding themselves trying to counter the heroes on the opposite team, but not really understanding fully how to play those very heroes?
I mean, we're talking about how both organizations is trying to make a name for themselves because this is new. This is a new lineup built for MWI, and because of that, they don't have the experience of being pressured this hard. So I feel like, have they stretched themselves too thin? Honestly, maybe, just because now that you're in this situation, what do you do?
This is scary, Bree. We go back to Flying Cloud, and Seda cannot afford to go with the same hero composition because we know what Galaxy Phoenix is going to do. They're just going to choose their own that just defeated them, and after such a heavy loss, going back to the same map, this could have devastating effects for Seda.
It's tough, though, because if they don't really want to overstretch their possibilities in terms of hero pool, then does reverting back to comfort also help them? Because their comforts seem to be really countered out well by Galaxy Phoenix nonetheless.
That's a good point, but we just witnessed Gen G try to do that. They went with their comfort picks, and they unfortunately ended up losing. So it's not a guarantee, but it is something that I'll still stand behind. It does help, especially whenever you're feeling uncomfortable going into the next map after losing in such a severe fashion.
I feel like you need to find a good middle ground. Because like maybe 2 or 3 players need those comforts. The other ones need to be a win condition, right? They need to be meta here because right now for Galaxy Phoenix, they kind of know the comforts of Seda and they're just taking it all out. And this time, look at the difference here. They're not betting out anti-tanks. Now they're betting out burst heroes. So maybe they just want to show off more heroes. Just be like, hey, we got more in the tank.
Hey, what if it's an assassin game this time for Galaxy
think it might
Phoenix,
be.
right? Because if they don't want these annoying XP laners to just come in, well, the carry makes you think twice just a little bit because there is also a chance they took it out. But these are mind games. Like, Seda are probably not sure what the game plan is for Galaxy Phoenix at this point. Just give it the first 3 bans that they decided to show us.
I feel like Beleric is a pretty safe pick because, again, that's one of the heroes that Lima really likes to play. Other than that, everyone else has been so good. Beleric has been picked up. So now for Seda, the problem is they don't have a carry to really fight against this Beleric. So I don't know. Even taking away the Sora is so dangerous because the Valentina is still there.
I agree. At this point, they just want to snatch away the Lilia so they have to deal with less problems if a Belleric Lilia combination shows up again. But that's not the only thing you can expect from Galaxy Phoenix, because if they go all in on the more tanky heroes, then they might just also opt for the likes of a Jusin because it's also still open, so they have more ways of responding to it. But it's scary, but comfort is the game, I guess.
They're showing comfort with the Sicilian pick, but that's Sora early pick. A reason why we don't see Sora so early, it's so counterable, especially with that Valentina. So that's a risk, saying that I don't think you'll pick up the Valentina, and they don't. They pick up the Phoveus, but Phoveus is also a counter towards the Sora. And now that the Phoveus sees it's a Sicilian, it's not a Gord, it's not a Lilia, the Phoveus will be fine. I feel like Seda, they just overcommitted on that Sicilian pick, making it an easy Phoveus pick.
Yeah, and you're forced to play slow. You have to play slightly slower than usual. You do have a Sora, but the fact that it's already countered out, then you have much limited movement across the map. And now they get the next best option, I guess, which is also the Claude. So not even the Sicilian's safe. You'd have to be worried about sudden entries from the Blazing Duet.
The way that the draft has been shaping up, they even got the combo Carmilla as well as Cecilia. The way it's been shaping up is like Seda is running in one direction, and then Galaxy Phoenix is taking brick by brick, making a wall, making sure that you're gonna run into that wall. Because as of right now, Seda said, you know what? We are going for comfort. We're going for wombo combos. So just hoping for a very big team fight win, but that's one of Galaxy Phoenix's specialty, especially with that Belleric. I don't know if that's the best way to draft for this one.
I hope Seda at least find some way to play opposite side of the map, because if they're just going really heavy on team fights and you're already forced to play slow, then that just really lessens your chances of being able to catch up to Galaxy Phoenix, because I just feel like Galaxy Phoenix are always going to step on the gas. They're not really going to allow Seda to play whatever game they want.
At this point, Galaxy Phoenix is riding an electric vehicle. It's so instant. You just can't stop it, right? After the game, they'll charge it up. But during the game, it's all speed. Seda now batting out the box, very good ban, because as of right now, it seems like a different kind of dive comp coming in from Galaxy Phoenix. And Seda, I guess the flex here is Carmilla, I guess. We've seen it in the jungle. It could be Roam. What I think Seda needs is wave clear. If they have wave clear, they can slow the game.
Exactly.
No minions, no turrets destroyed. But what other good wave clearers is there? Right? They already showed their mid. They kind of showed their EXP. So now it's gold lane.
Yeah, that's why maybe
there's no quad.
The Moskov, if they just really want someone to take charge of the lanes.
I almost want to make a risky pick of something like a Granger so that the early game is there, or a Harv, because I'm just worried the Moskov needs 3 to 4 items.
It does.
Cecilia needs like what, 20 minutes?
Also because you're already forced to play slow, you're scaling in mid, so might as well go for an early game gold lane.
They need some kind of early game. If not, this is gonna be super one-sided.
So should they just go fighter sides and maybe like a YSS in the jungle to actually not balance it out?
Actually not bad. Or fighter in the jungle. We haven't seen Lucas for a while, but Lucas used to be good during that time.
And there's a Valentina option still, so maybe,
you know what? You're right.
Okay, they ban it out though. Maybe.
What other picks in the gold lane here? If you want, I can see something like a CC.
A CC.
Wait, hold on.
The Freya's actually still open. What the heck?
I was looking like, wait, something's missing here. Freya's still open.
Okay.
Which is not bad if Seda wants it. It's not bad. It's good.
It's wombo combo everywhere.
Phoveus kind of counters that Freya as well.
Yeah.
So like I said, Seda is walking straight, and Galaxy Phoenix is building a wall directly in front of them.
Yes. That wall is looking a bit too sturdy now, because Seda is just limited in options. A Bruno will be the option. It's very scaling right now for Seda.
And not a lot of wave clear. This is one of those games that either ends by 9 minutes or ends by 30. There's rarely any in between.
Okay, shoutouts to our casters who are casting this game. Let's see if it does end less than 9 or maybe 30 if they get to successfully defend. Because at this point, the Juicin option, it's just picked up by Galaxy Phoenix. They pretty much see what to expect.
A Suyo maybe? Right just so that you can be very, very fast? Honestly, they can pick up anything at this point. Hayabusa or the Nolan as well, yeah.
I think the Nolan too, just so you could just... Oh, they're the ones who go Yi Sun-shin.
So just in case if the game does extend long enough, they do have a double marksman. Honestly, this is a very good respect coming in from Galaxy Phoenix. They see that Seda is investing everything into the late game so that they just get 2 late game heroes. Honestly, that's a lot of respect coming in from Galaxy Phoenix.
Yeah, they were able to sense it from a mile away, but Seda are still looking for their jungler. Well, we did float the idea of a Carmilla maybe being flexed, but maybe it's more of a roam pick if you're looking at the current setup for Seda, not unless they just really want to go full support and put all of their eggs in one basket and revolve around the Bruno Sicilian late game and go utility in the jungle. Or
wow. Okay. I feel like I want to ask the opinions of Gideon here because export makes sense against the Phoveus as well as the Belleric. But hey, maybe it can work. Maybe it can work.
Maybe it can work.
Well, it's going to have to work for sure. Seda Esports built this roster specifically for MWI, and it's worked out so far. But is this going to be the end of the road? Well, they need to come back in the series. It's a best of 5 after all, and Galaxy Phoenix is already well ahead of the game, winning game 1 in such a convincing fashion that Seda Esports now has to go for their comfort picks just to feel alive in game number 2. It's Galaxy Phoenix versus Seda Esports Map 2. Athena, Gideon, take it away.
Thank you so much for reflections. And yes, LaFell, I will explain it in just a bit here because this is going to be an intense game. Not only were both sides looking for comfort picks, but Seda really going above and beyond in the second half of the draft to shake things up for the mid trios. And I think that's where this game is going to come down to because level 1 is not in their favor when it comes down to the wave clear. Now, they both lost a concussive blast really, really quick. But that first motion gives Name the advantage that they were looking for and avoid the worst part of the early game, which was level 1.
That is just the thing. They just want it to be in their favor when or where they want to decide to engage, right? And for Seda, with the export being shown as well here, Gideon, we have to dive deeper. But before that, for Fanwa as well, going in with the Revitalize, now they slowly disengage from that independent team fight.
Now, here's the thing. When you have your mid-trios battling it out, it's really a 3v3. However, if you notice GXP's lineup, only Lima, unfortunately, is the tankiest person on their squad. Sophia's not going to walk up too far without Lima, and Fa doesn't want to get close at all. Now, here at level 2, this is where Sophia can get really, really aggressive, but Seda want to punish this. They are taxing the HP pool and also using the waltz so that Fanhua can get really aggressive and still walk out of safety.
Plus, the additional shield is really helpful for them when it comes to clutch moments, right? And it's all about surviving, not only here on MWI, but surviving the game first. Okay, 1 game at a time here for Seda. And now we also have to somehow look at a closer look on how will Jessica fare well against the Phoveus of Ling later on. Now she got this huge advantage with the setups with the Cloud Form current term, plus now she actually has damage that she could inflict upon GXP whenever needed. And right on cue, it's not going to be, or it's might be going to be onto the objective here, which is a turtle that spawned right on cue.
I think step 1 for either one of these teams, they may want to go for this neutral objective, but they don't necessarily have to take it. Wait, turtle ball hits!
Okay, they're turning into the bait. Name almost falling low. It's going to be a Farago armor being pop up here for the last Insanity. So with the first blood, it's Ling being the first blood against, of all people, now Seda. Semi-standard hard here, but surprisingly, they let go of the turtle. They just focus on to getting that huge first blood kill for Joe.
That was actually a pretty insane fight there. Like, Jessica saved the day. Name was meant to die, and Jessica saved 2 lives with a single flicker and Cloud Shift. Now, we see Fanhua getting aggressive, but at the same time, they notice it. They don't mind if she dies, only because Kai is going to be their late-game insurance policy next to Name.
Yep.
At this stage of the game, I would say that Seda, again, they're going to contest basically everything, but there's no real commitment to it.
Maybe for now, because Seda just has to be really careful. It's all about picking in onto the lane and going for the free hits is going to be Name. Perfect bat speeds there, getting a kill onto Sophia. Now the numbers are quite rolling and going onto the side of Name and Fanhua.
And this is exactly what you want to see. Some sacrifices from the side lanes that isn't in your late game scalers.
Yep.
The Phoveus knows that later in the game, he's going to be a lot less relevant. So at this point of time, you see that Jessica is going to take advantage of that. You know what? I'll miss out one wave, but if I can set up 2 beautiful kills for Name and speed her up, this game will be free.
Who says that you have to play the long game, right, to activate a Sicilian? It's all about making it faster here for Seda. And now they also have this great vision when it comes to Name with the Sanguine Claws as well. When it comes to checking out each and every bush, if ever or whenever necessary.
Now, right now, what's really uncomfortable is that both Jessica and Ling are really good at this Sora. They should understand the mechanics well. But unfortunately for Ling, they need to make sure that Jessica doesn't really get out of this lane. Ling needs to keep Jessica here for as long as possible and tax her life total every single time she walks up to that wave.
Oh, but that's the thing. Sometimes Jessica just totally lets go and doesn't even put so much attention onto Ling. She just wants to be there when a fight actually occurs here for Seda. And that might actually happen in the next few seconds or so. It's Spa getting an advantage here for the Pixel Bush. But there's the Sanguine Claws that we're talking about. Great advantage here for Name. This position here for GXP. They're trying to dance around this neutral objective, and Jessica 6-6 is ready to rumble whenever ready. Foundry Chakra activated as well. It's going to be the blast here for Jessica 6-6, targeting Fa of all people. And Joe freely gets the turtle in hand. The bat flaps will be able to land in on those targets. Bat speed activated as well, where Name and Guy will join in the fights, but a little bit too late because Seda already got objective and a kill, but GXP got a trade in return.
Now, already with the Clock of Destiny finish here, I think it's really unlucky because Fanhua just could not find a really good angle to get that Cursed Blood onto multiple targets, and the counter engage from GXP was just a little too good. This comes down to execution, and I think that right now, both lineups, to a certain degree, is going to be very even towards the later half of the game. My biggest concern is whether or not Fa will be able to scale in time, because Fanhua is kind of unstoppable when Name is not too far away from her.
They need to find a way to actually like zone out and let Fa do her job, which is to actually farm up as much as you can. So if ever that doesn't happen, what they wanted to do is somehow let Winnie do the talking, let Winnie do the damage if ever Fa doesn't get enough of the resources that she wants. And now Seda here onto the mid lane, they could actually force out some pickups here, but no, they're playing it safely for now.
Personally, I think that Winnie, once she gets 3 items, she's going to look to Blazing Duet Name as soon as they can. And for the meantime, Seda, again, they're not looking to kind of accelerate this game, as you can tell. They're looking to just, hey, match them, match that energy. Don't let the EXP go to waste. Don't let the gold go to waste.
It's all about conserving their energy as well, because whatever happens, all they needed is just to wait for enough stacks here for Nami to totally turn the slaps into 1 or 2 hits at most here against GXP. Plus, even though there's a threat of the Claude, Fanhua could actually bypass all frontrunners here for GXP just to try and delay things up here. And Sophia might have enough stacks here for the Stone Snare. Lantern Flare activated there. Name! Okay, we see that coming. That is quite an advantage here for GXP. They could just try and reach her from the back, which is exactly what Ling is trying to do. No more flickers, but now they have to play it safe. They're slowly back away. Now they get a great vantage point, and they actually turn the tides into their favor and getting Ling in return.
Beautiful, beautiful setup coming in from Seda. They got GXP again in a 4v5 scenario that they cannot win from. And until we see GXP fight as 5, these fights, even a man advantage, is all Seda needs.
And that is exactly what Seda wants as well. That's going to be the last turtle falling onto the hands of Joe. Fa goes in with a plan B, just split pushing onto the top lane. And as you've mentioned, they need to fight on 5-on-5 here for Seda, but that isn't happening. So Jessica 6-6 takes advantage of the fact. Baskets yet again for Name, collecting all those stacks to win it with a side blazing duet. She might actually fall, but no. Luckily, she will be able to get back just in time. But still, it's Ling taken down yet again by Zeta.
Good teamwork coming in from Seda. They had to make sure that the chain CC was going to be effective. I mean, yes, it broke a little bit, but it was enough to chunk down Ling enough and get Winnie out of there.
Oh, that's a Crimson Mirror activated by Sophia. A slap is there, but last insanity committed here by Joe just to try and ensure the kill if ever necessary. Name with a bad speed free hit on the win. Finny, of all people, will be taken down. Flicker out here for most of the members of GXP, but still for Seda, it's all about throwing the body Fanwa to get something more in return for Seda.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're not finding any more moments. Now GXP is starting to get into a scaling, starting to scale up into this match. Endless Battle already purchased for Yi Shin. It will be able to start sustaining and getting in and out of these fights more effectively while still maintaining high bursts. When we look at everybody else, Guy so far already with 2 very valuable items is looking to get that Malefic Gun to extend her range, and then the composition is complete.
Yep, it's all about making Guy more dependable as well. Like compared to game 1, she didn't have enough time to actually scale up. Now she has the advantage. She has the position. Now they destroyed her onto the top lane. Controlling the macro as well is one of Seira's weakest points from previous games, but now they're also focusing on balancing out waves. And with Winnie, on the other hand, she just wants to focus or force out reactions from Zeta, but no, they have their own plan in mind, and that's to target Sophia. Still no flicker yet. They know that it's just a Crimson Beacon. Now they transition here onto the objective.
They're also going to break the Holy Shielding on the top side with a slow pushing wave as they're about to fight.
Oh, Jessica 6 is forced out of her ulti just to get away. It's Ling onto the front line. They let go of the Lord. It said there's going to be a taunt. Fa will be securing the Lord on her way to annihilate members here for Seda. And now they catch them. Silas will pop off Immortality. And when they finally gets an opening that she needs, it's Guy and Joe being left here. And Win ensures the double. Meanwhile, for Guy, she gets the triple in return as Seda still got an advantage all over that messy clashes that GXP did.
A 3 for 3. What? Hold on, no, Jessica in trouble. Unfortunately, no ult, and now it turns into a 3 for 4 in favor of GPX.
Okay, now they finally get something more out of messy teamfights, initiations, and what mattered is that they were able to actually get an objective while they were doing so.
They're going to keep on doing this, right? I mean, just look at the way that they're playing it, right? I think that the mistake here is the fact that Ling didn't immediately flicker onto Guy and trigger that passive. They needed that mini stun to happen to allow a cleaner way for Winnie to get in and apply that damage. Not to mention, you got to stack it up. So again, communication starting to break down here, but it's not over just yet as they're about to dive.
Okay, they're approaching Fanwa with a Dark Right Inferno pursuit, but Jessica 6 goes in with a counterplay, but not enough to do so damage. But still, that is a kill here for Seda. Guy onto the front. They were able to take down Link in the process. That's a 1-for-1. But Winnie just doesn't want that to be a tie. Ensures a turret destroy onto the top lane. They're really good at their macro tank side here for GXP.
It's actually really insane how good they are at making these macro decisions, right? They're not wasting any time, and Winnie knows that Zoe's got nothing on her as long as she has BMI. The only problem is Guy, because every one of those auto attacks, while Claude needs to get like 14 in to get that big damage, and oh, hold on.
Okay, it's still Jessica 6 trying to somehow set up a play. Being forced out of their positions here is GXP, but still, Flicker activated for Sophia just to try and survive.
I think at this point, Seda getting a little nervous here. Ice Queen's wand being purchased from Zoe. Now they can play the traditional front to back. The composition is already complete. They just have to fight 5v5, and it's the onus is on GXP to kind of break those boundaries. It might be a little bit hard, right? Because that cursed blood, it's just too dangerous. If any of the squishier targets like Winnie or Fa get caught by it together, I think that's game over.
That is super risky here for GXP, and that's why they're really being careful where and when to target. It's being caught in a crossbar here for the members of Jessica 6 and Seda. Actually wants to get a kill. Even the flicker for Name, but that is going to be an easy kill here for Fa. He definitely knows there's no more escape here for Name.
Beautiful, beautifully played by Fa. Looked for the flank angle, was really, really patient. Unfortunately, Ling might have died there, but they were still going to risk it, especially if they find that shutdown onto Name. The slower Name scales, the better it is for GXP.
Yep, we're Galaxy Phoenix now. They're focusing their attention on the controlling out the wave and position when it comes to taking out the Lord. It's going to be a free Lord here for Galaxy Phoenix, and a great zone out by Lemma and Sofia against Seda.
It's looking really, really good here. But unfortunately for Seda, despite the score being 8-11, the Lord is in the hands of GXP with a 1K lead, looking to explode it into a 5. However, now that bottom side, no holy shielding both top and a bottom, it kind of doesn't matter. I feel like GXP has kind of conditioned Seda a little bit. And yes, look at that mid lane. Oh, what the... Fan just lost her ult.
Okay. Kind of a whoopsie here for Seda, but still, it's Jessica66 with a great initiation. But Santi, though, members here from GXP will be taking the 1-by-1. It's still Guy coming up on top. As you've mentioned, it's all about the free hits here from Guy. She is the woman that GXP has to hunt for.
I mean, they could have gotten a lot more there, but then again, maybe it's a blessing in disguise.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure GXP saw the random Curse of Blood being thrown out and thought, we could force this, but they forgot about Jessica. That Cloud Shift works just as good as the main initiation tool.
Okay, now for Seda, they just have to be really careful onto, like, controlling the wave as well. They have very good initiations, to be honest. All throughout their games, they're really dominant when it comes to clashes. They really know how to play the micro really well. But the problem is that most of the time, even not so in super long games, 15 minutes is considered mid-game, right? And they're already gotten their base turrets already destroyed, but most of the opponents that they play against. And that is somehow frustrating if you're Seda, because you also have to double down onto watching out the long lanes here, but Lemma instantly being bursted down. Okay, Fa was actually waiting for members here from Seda to actually exhaust all their ultimates. Last Insanity committed as well. It's Winnie being caught. Oh my gosh, they stayed a bit too long there against Seda.
They just didn't make a decision. GXP needed to start moving to that direction. They cannot just let it go. They could have just sacrificed the waves just to make sure that the rest of GXP can get out. And now their cores are in trouble, and Lima might be the next to fall.
Okay, even with the Random Giant, I think that won't be enough to survive. And it's still Name collecting all those stacks.
Oh my god.
Now it's Joe onto Fa, trying to run away. Immortality removed entirely. Last Insanity just to try and get away, and she will successfully do so. But Seda, on the other hand, will be punishing most of the members here onto GXP. Focus Fire and actually destroying a base turret in the process.
Okay, wow, I thought maybe that flank was already looking so good, but the rest of the team, and especially for Lima, losing so much HP, just didn't have the right conditions. Now, both sides missing inhibitors. Seda needs to go back to clear up this wave and then look to contest the Lord. So right now, GXP gets first move to position for this Lord. Is nobody going to clear up that top wave? Thank God. Turnaround coming in from Lima.
Okay, and that's the thing for Seda. They have to think of the bigger picture. And with them thinking that they have to go out or go home to defend, it took what? Like literally a few seconds for GXP to actually burst down and get the Lord.
Again, I was saying that Seda was able to match up with the macro of GXP, but it seems that now it's starting to slip. The fatigue from the 16-minute game where every single one of these moves could be the difference of extending the series or sending you right back home. And either way, GXP, they're the cool, calm, collected ones, yet we haven't seen a very clean 5v5 just yet. It's always somebody goes down a little too quick. Somebody isn't as committed compared to the others. Once GXP gets on that same page, Seda's going to be in a lot of trouble unless they once again forget about the two big ultimates. Cloud Shift coming up from Jessica66 or the Cursed Blood from Fanhua.
Okay, two things to check if you're GXP. And now, they're slowly approaching top lane here. Lema onto Joe. There's going to be lack of flare. Last Insanity just to clear off the minion wave that GXP brought onto the base of Seda. Now, it's going to be a defense, and they're not willing to risk it at all here, Gideon.
Why does nobody want to hit the turret? Just somebody, anybody at this point. And now they're pulling. Guy is literally pulling it because the mid tier 2 one didn't break.
Okay, now they're talking. Seda This wants to go in for a kill, but Fanwa immediately melts down here onto the hands of GXP. And we have Winnie here with a blazing do it, going for free hit. Sophia with a double. Now that's going to be a disaster here for Sera. They have to defend for their base. It's still complete 5 members here for GXP knocking in onto their base, approaching the mid lane.
Oh, this game just got extended for little to no reason here.
Yep.
And now the inhibitor's still being threatened, and yet Seda are going down as easily as you think. GXP, they got a little disrespectful there. They should have remembered, hey, you can't get the inhibitors without taking the tier 2s, so why did you hard push it on the long lane?
They were too focused onto taking down. Be sure that they forgot, wait, we have to go back to the basic fundamentals, right? You have to prioritize first on the turrets that you really want to destroy, then you go by there. Now, for GXP, game extended. This might be a pro or a con, depending on whether they get the Lord or will Sera even contest this one.
Yeah, this is kind of interesting, actually. We see that Fa has decided to go for the War Axe as her last item. Despite everything, usually people make the decision of maybe it's the Malefic or whether we go into the War Axe. Usually the War Axe comes in as your second item over the Endless Battle, but let's see this Conceal first before we go any further, because Lima is really out of position and didn't see it in time.
And now they rush in. Immortality removed entirely just before a Lord take here for GXP. Although technically, she still survives, but for Sera, they have another layer of info that they have. But still, first things first, they have to clear off wave after wave before they try and position themselves into trying to contest this objective.
I love the fact that Seda are using these small little tricks. When you conceal, stick by walls because it's just harder to notice something changing when it is a fixed position. But even so, they're still contesting for this mid spot here.
Okay, it's Fanmo being covered here by GXP. Waltz in towards Name, and now they try and dance around this Lord. 9 minutes into the game, this might be the ending Lord that GXP needs. And oh no, yeah, Jessica 6 is forced out of her ultimate. Wait, what? Oh, the back lane is fun, getting the Lord, and when he goes in with an entry point of blazing to it, Jessica 6 might fall down. Yes, indeed, and Ling on the hands on here, and Guy gets in with the multiple balls ahead, getting for the free hits. Sera is doing it. They want to survive, but wait, there's more. They have to go back. They have to defend their base, and it's Winnie on their back. That's 4 women across the map trying to find a way to go home safely to defend against GXP.
This might be the first time that both Seda and GXP have been put in this position. This is the sloppiest we've seen. So nasty as they 5v5 around this Lord pit. A steal from Fa, but yet we are seeing that Seda are coming out of on top in a lot of these scenarios. Both the XP's down and one chance to survive.
Okay, they still have the capability to extend this game. And an immediate shutdown onto Fa. And Joe and the rest of the Gandes might just have it. They have it, what it takes just to try and survive for long. It's Sophia being targeted by 2 members. Even with the Lantern Flare, I think that won't be enough, because they are locking their sights onto her. And Guy still alive, still deathless by the way, onto this 21-minute game time.
And there's a chance at the end of the game right here, right now. They gotta deal with these waves. Let it push in just a little bit closer. They have to stop it right here at the inhibitor. If they don't commit to it, they're gonna get cloud shifted.
Okay, if they play it just right, they might be able to equalize this matchup. It's Lang and Winnie with a blazing do it with their ground. They just want to delay things up, but Seda just isn't having any of it. A minion wave will cross over, and it's Seda taking in game number 2.
They extend it. They bring it to one chance, one more game to see Seda versus GXP. Holy! Both of these teams are pushing each other and are grinding each other down. Their plays are looking a little more sloppy, but at the same time, this is a new environment. No teams have pushed both of them this far, and they have so much to fix upon, not only in fundamentals, but just in the raw mechanics. It's a scary moment to be in here, because can you imagine the stress, the pressure, which is causing these consistent players to start deteriorating? We're going to take a breath here, up on the table. We're going to be throwing it back over to Reflections at the studio. More MLBB action right after this.
What an unbelievable game with incredible results. It went back and forth for a full 20-plus minutes. In the end, it's Seda tying up the series 1-1. Bree, I thought you were going to lose your voice screaming. You were losing your mind.
Have I not? Oh, did you hear that? I feel like I lost a bit of it just because of what happened there in that game. It's, what, 20 minutes long? We didn't hit your 30 minutes, but
yeah,
we were close. We were close.
You know, it's funny, LaFell, you did say it's either going to be a 9-minute game or a 20-plus minute game. When I saw the 9 minutes, I said, well, we're in for the gauntlet.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, Cecilia needed 20 minutes to get there, and they got there, right? I feel like I cast a curse Galaxy Phoenix just a little bit by saying they could go all the way to the grand finals, and then that just happened because, let's face it, Seda had an amazing game, but Galaxy Phoenix, a lot of misplays, especially from Winnie. Well, you're very passionate about that one.
He did put a disclaimer that he doesn't want to jinx it, but you know, Caster Curse might just be a bit too strong for today. It's a real thing. Sora is a real thing too for
Happy
today.
Sora Day.
Sora Day.
It's been, what, all wins for whoever gets the Sora here.
It seems to be the cheat code. My goodness, though. Seda at one point fell behind, and I was thinking, okay, we're probably going 2-0 here, but through resilience, they ended up fighting back. Talk to me about that back and forth, LaFell, because, my goodness, felt like Galaxy Phoenix was winning at one point. Seda then took back over. Galaxy Phoenix had a very real chance to push the base. They didn't. They pulled away. Seda took advantage and ultimately won.
That's a good question, and to answer that, they have different layers of damage that you can't defend against. Number one, big burst magic damage. Fovia is one of the tankiest heroes in the game. One hit, half HP gone.
Yep.
So that's number one. Gagai, big burst physical damage, right? So that also deals with the likes of the Claude.
Yep.
And then you have continuous true damage coming in from the X-Borg. So they have ways to deal with the tanks. They have ways to deal with the squishies. And look at Jessica. Even Jessica, after that win, I feel like some tears there because she's like,
serious emotions, man.
That was a very hard game.
Serious emotions. I mean, to lose how they did in map 1, Bree, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just such a convincing fashion. Zhao was the only one with 2 kills. That was it to like the 17 or 20 on the opposite side. Unbelievable results. Let's take a look at a couple of actions, and usually I set them up and I kind of have a feeling where they're at. I'm not going to have any idea who's winning in this moment. We take a look at it, and it could very well be Galaxy Phoenix leading the way here. So it is a little bit later on. We're now down to the 12 minute marks, and it is in fact going to be Galaxy Phoenix leading, but just slightly.
Yeah, and it's where I think you start to feel the scaling come in. I know it's just a 12-minute mark, but Lemma and Ling were starting to feel it. If it weren't for those individual plays, I feel like Seda could have just went all in.
And looking at the second moment, LaFell, we get down towards the end, and I'm hoping they show the base push that ended up failing for the side of Galaxy Phoenix that then forced Seda Esports to come back. We take a look at it, and that was a huge turning point, obviously, throughout this series. Getting now down to the 13-minute mark, we do see a little bit of a middle battle, though, taking place.
Yeah, honestly, this is where we start to see the damage coming in from Name, the Sicilian, and that is why when they were about to push for the air, which maybe we'll see later on, I was like, I told the Brigade, I was like, I don't think this game is going to end. Because the way that everyone was positioned, it was a very good defensive position coming in from Seda. And then it turned out to be true. I got to say, sometimes I wish I'm not right.
Yeah, because it all looked like it was towards the end, but then you gotta see the burst, you gotta see the damage, you gotta see the defense from this X-Borg, the Sicilian, and those were their timers. You gotta give it to them. That was a moment where they just could defend until the very end, and they did.
They did indeed. Athena and Gideon were giving it their absolute all. We have a caster reaction. Let's listen in and hear how excited they were.
The GXP brought onto the base of Seda. Now it's going to be a defense, and they're not willing to risk it at all here, Gideon.
Why does nobody want to hit the turret? Just somebody, anybody at this point. And now they're pulling. Gagai is literally pulling it because the mid-tier 201 didn't break.
Okay, now they're talking. Seda just wants to go in for a kill, but Fanwa, if it melts down here onto the heads of GXP, and we have Winnie here with a blazing do it, going for free hit. Sophia with a double.
It was Inception for a moment. We're watching the casters react while watching the casters react to the caster react. And Athena, man, she was definitely caught off guard by that one. But you know what? They give it their all.
Gideon, let me just say, same. Me and Briggs, like, if there was cams on us, we'd also be like, we're very passionate folks, you know. We love MLBB.
Yeah,
we love MLBB.
And he's put a caster curse in game for 3 times straight in just a single minute. I don't know how that was possible, but everything just went the opposite way of whatever
we
he
need
said.
an analyst cam, though, on you, especially when you start losing your minds. I didn't know what was going on. I actually went to LaFell. I was like, what is happening? Like, what?
Honestly, you look like she was having a seizure. She never does that. You've never been this passionate.
I was screaming, yes.
Yes.
Galaxy Phoenix, she's backing them up, man, and she was excited to see them come back until it wasn't a comeback. Seda Esports, man, 1-1, all tied up. My goodness, do they look unstoppable.
But I have to say, after what we saw from Jessica
Yes.
and her emotions,
Yes.
we might really have to give it to them because they risked it. They risked it so much to go for a Sicilian Carmilla lineup to end or to get in that game. So, like, they went in with, I think, one of the strategies they've been trying to keep, but they were just forced to bring it out because they just desperately wanted to stay alive in this tournament.
Look at that damage as well. Gagai did 123,000 damage while Namei did 105,000 damage. Sophia, funny enough, also did 105,000 damage, so that is quite a lot. But this just shows, as strong as the Sicilian was, a lot was on Gagai, on that Bruno. So, and by the way, clever pick for that X-board, because I did not notice there was not a lot of bursts from Galaxy Phoenix to destroy the Faraga armor. So I didn't notice that. So honestly, brilliant drafting coming in from Seda.
Yeah, because it seems like you're just so tempted to go for the Juicin. Everyone just seemed like they had to go melee and close towards the opponent so you could just freely use your lantern flares. But we're looking at Ling and Jessica. So much highlight on the EXP lane, at least for today. Whoever gets the Sora has a huge advantage. But in this particular game though, Ling, I think a lot of times Ling was just doing what the Phoveus would definitely do, but Jessica, for some way, found her way around it.
If we're looking at the goal distribution, it tells the story of the game here, because we see, coming in from Jessica, she took no gold from the jungle crease, meaning that she's always around the map, around the river, as well as the lane. Whereas you see Ling have to take some jungle crease, meaning to say that she was losing, right? She needed money somewhere, and one of the options there was the jungle.
Well, let's head back to the stage for the two teams now to get ready for the pick and bans. And Galaxy Phoenix, Seda, this is going to be an incredible matchup now, clearly. You know, after map 1, I'm thinking, this might be a hot 3-0. We've only got 2 O's on our stage after all, but not the case this time. In fact, this is a historic moment. It's the first time we've actually had a 1-1 scoreline on our stage in its entirety. So this one could very well go the distance, and Seda finally gets some wind in their sails, and I think much needed after that Game 1 loss. Now, for Galaxy Phoenix, that's a narrow loss, but sometimes those can sting more than a blowout.
Honestly, Reflections, I feel like Brigida is so happy because she loves extended series. She hates those 2-0. So finally getting it, you can feel her joy.
Yeah, well, we might as well, because this is the last day we'll be seeing best of 3s. We're going to best of 5s, right? So we just want to make the most out of the best of 3s. Why are our casters doing this most?
No, the casters are looking at us. We're looking at them, because here's the thing. We have develop what we call
what do you call it?
What do you call it? Give me some philosophy. You've been studying biology, philosophy,
biology, or anything, physics.
We are in a different reality than most people, that we live amongst ourselves. So we share pain, we share joy. I'm looking at Gideon and I'm like, we've been at this together for most of our lives. He loves me, I love him.
Oh my.
And
world?
Yes, we're both married, so it's okay. We can share.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, it's getting deep out here, guys. I don't know if you can feel it or not.
We can say that because he can't fight back, so that helps.
Find a platform to sit on. It's getting deep out here. Galaxy Phoenix, Seda Esports, all tied up 1-1. As you mentioned, it is a best of 3, so it comes down to this final one. Remember, guys, single elimination in our knockout rounds, okay? So if Seda wins this, Galaxy Phoenix are gone, and vice versa, right? So it's tournament life on the line when it matters most. And for Galaxy Phoenix specifically, to win that map 1 in such a convincing fashion, allows Seda Esports back into the series. If they were to then lose this best of 3, have their key crushed, that map 2 is going to haunt their dreams until next year.
Bree, I gotta ask.
What?
Seda won because of a cheese pick, a cheese strat.
Yeah.
Right? The Sicilian, the Carmilla, the Exborg. Do you think they can do that again? Because for some teams, you had a winning strategy. Sometimes you just want to go for it again, even if it is not the same circumstances. Now you be the analyst.
Okay, for GXP though, I think they'll be more careful of how balanced their composition is definitely this time, because the lack of burst earlier definitely hurt them. The lack of range earlier definitely hurt them. They had to scale for both of their carries, and they might want to spread it out a bit, but it's another Flying Clouds map.
Hey, talk about Sora Day, am I right?
Sora
Yeah,
Day.
I was going to say, dude, we need a Flying Cloud at this point because we're tied up 1-1 on Flying Cloud. We need a tiebreaker. We're going to get exactly that. I'm excited for this one, man. 3 Flying Clouds to determine who moves forward and who goes home.
You know, Gideon's favorite hero is Sora.
Really?
But the one above that is Uranus.
Oh.
He can't get over that hero. If he can pick it up, he would pick it up. He doesn't care if he has to use Uranus mid lane, he would. Like, he has a shirt saying, I love Uranus.
Really?
I don't dare lie to you, Briggs.
Okay.
But I agree with you. For this one, GXP, there needs a little bit more balance.
Yep.
I'm almost even thinking maybe the Yushin Shin is too much respect, thinking that, you know, we're going to fight late game to late game, but a Cecilia on late game, I mean, like, that's not okay.
Because either way, if they did hand over the Yi Sun Shin and they had a Sicilian and a Claude in their lineup, then just go full out on early game. Then just make sure that you snowball out of their minds just so enough that they couldn't really catch up. Because in a way, they just allowed the Exborg to also somehow balance out Seta's lineup a bit more. They allowed for the Carmilla to get a bit of help, for the combo with the Waltz to actually be a problem. So this time heading into this draft, hopefully they both were able to reset and that they get to bring out their fullest potential.
Full out. I'm thinking just go Assassins then. Let's get a repeat of that
Honestly,
one matchup that we had here on Group A. Like, that was incredible. What, almost 40+ eliminations on both sides. It did not disappoint. I'm ready for it, and I hope you guys are at home, because this is really such a tremendous matchup. It comes down to this one more map to determine it all. For Galaxy Phoenix, their first international LAN, and they are performing sensationally. Now on the opposite side for Seda, a team built specifically for MWI. They've had shaky moments, yes, but they continue to persevere and make it through against all odds. And both of these teams could very well be making a grand finals appearance. It's not going to be easy, but nothing ever is if you want to be a champion. We're going to have our hero picks in just a minute. And we've had 2 diverse hero pools between both rosters for sure. I'm just hoping for Seda, they get that Sora pick, they're going to be in some good hands.
Yeah.
But Harara, that is also one of their defaults, and it didn't work out in map 1. So let's see what they do going into the pick and bans.
I want to see what the respect is, because they had a counter for the Sora, and it was not enough.
I think it's also really more on the Sora now as a prio rather than the Hirara. Hopefully, if ever Seta does go to blue side, because I think earlier they were on... Were they on red earlier?
They were on red because
were
it
on
was
red.
an Exborg red 5
Yeah,
pick.
so hopefully this time they might as well... Oh, but wait, is Sora really first pickable though?
Here's the conundrum.
Conundrum.
Big word, huh?
Big word.
Say they get a Sora.
Okay.
And say you want to run that Sicilian again. Sicilian dies very fast to a Sora. The reason why Sora has been doing so well is because teams know each other so well. Seda knows Galaxy Phoenix. Galaxy Phoenix knows Seda. I know Gideon, right? So they know that these damage dealers need some kind of answer, and the answer is Sora.
Sora.
Deals a lot of damage and usually gets away with it.
Okay, so maybe, just maybe if they do go blue side, we get to see that. A bit of change, and it's something that will definitely apply. You call it, I guess, the tournament meta, quote unquote, especially in this context. But there are also a lot of other things that we're yet to actually see prioritized. The Freya, I think, was disregarded this entire series.
Yes, I was very disappointed, but okay.
So I'm wondering what the plan is gonna be, because they definitely are thinking hard about this.
the other word for tournament meta is pocket meta, which means it's just a meta for this current situation. So I feel like for Galaxy Phoenix, I think just go back to one of the strategies that they have used to win, because at this point, again, like I feel like they're playing Galaxy ban, not even global ban, right? It's like we've used this once.
Galaxy ban.
So never again.
Except the Claude, though. They never changed the Claude.
Do you feel like they should finally change the Claude?
Maybe not.
There were a few times Winnie was in a position that a Claude should not be in.
Yeah. But it's also maybe stemming from the understanding that once you push the waves against Team Zeta, you just get such a huge advantage, because that seemed to be one of their biggest problems too in the previous game, in all their previous series.
Yeah, the wave management is something that's lacking a bit. Actually, maybe that's also why they ban out the Moskov. They want to ban out hero that can protect the waves. Because, yeah, at this point, Zeta, I feel like that game number 2, they won, but it was kind of a nightmare as well. Always have to go back to base, make sure the minions don't end the game. It happened like, what, 6 times minions almost ended the game.
Yeah, and they... Well, I don't know if it's a good thing. They're not as reactive. Like, they're not just quick to decide to
trust
send
their
someone
base.
back. They trust their minions.
They trust their minions.
They trust their
They got
base.
King Bob on their side.
Yeah, but at the same time, is it really the right decision at times? Because, well, it does reward them. Sometimes they kite them
Hello,
long
dia
enough
tahu
that
ke ni
even
yang terlanyak
GXP
dah.
are
Dia
not
punya
able to
dah.
recall, to reset, but at most, it really puts their base HP down to a very dangerous level.
Well, going back, why didn't, I mean, realistically, Galaxy Phoenix, like, close the door on Zeta during that one base push? Because even the casters are like, this was your opportunity. Push forward. Why did they break away?
They're spread out.
Yeah, so step 1, take out the Sicilian. The Sicilian clears the wave very fast. They don't have that guy, right? Phobius doesn't dive. Winnie could have, but Winnie could not. Right? So that's just...
Oh my gosh.
Look at that. A Carmilla ban. The respect showing from Coach Ririf. Right? Carry ban as well as the Carmilla ban. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, we just jump into the draft here. Zeta is going to be blue side first pick. GXP on the second pick. Red side Flying Clouds again. Sora is nowhere seen on the ban list here. Marcel Herrera as well as Guinevere banned out by Zeta. One more ban for GXP.
Yeah, the Claude is also still going to be likely an option for a GXP later on, not unless Zeta actually deny it this time. But I don't think they might want to go that route. The Belleric is also still up for Zeta. Since the Carmilla is already gone, might as well revert back to one of their picks that really worked the most. So not unless Galaxy Phoenix actually take it out here, but there are a lot that you might want to consider for the ban. Going for the Valir.
I'm smelling an Akai later on.
The Baksha Akai are actually still up.
Actually, yes, yeah. Baxia. Never mind, Baxia. Baxia is a better pick here.
Yeah. So Zeta, it's up to them now. The Balearic is up again, open. If they're already expecting the Baksha to come through anyway, or do they deny the Claude?
Just honestly thinking the Baxia away would not be a bad idea, but it does seem that they want to play something more chaotic in the jungle, right? Something that can potentially counter whatever GXP has, especially with that Valir ban. You kind of know that Galaxy Phoenix will have a tank. So they're probably thinking like, save the jungle pick to be one of those heroes that can deal with the tank. But instead, there you go. They're like, you know what? We're going to take the Baxia away. So maybe Galaxy Phoenix does have to take the Akai.
If they are forced to take the Akai...
I mean, they can take it later. Or, you know, Barat's Matilda, if they have that.
Matilda is actually open.
Up Sora. So,
Uh-oh.
do they win?
Uh-oh, that's based off of history, I would think so. What's the pick? I mean, Jessica going Baxia is quite interesting. I mean, she's gone Herrera, she's gone Sora, now Baxia. What's the game plan, you think, for her specifically?
Number one, I feel like to take away from GXP because I think they completely understand that's what they want because the bans are kind of honest here, Brigida.
Yeah. So at least they get to deny more of what was similar to GXP's Game 1 draft because that was just really them rampaging through the Land of Dawn, just making sure that they were all over Zeta's map. So they do secure the Sora Belleric though, so I'm thinking the matchup.
I kind of want Valentina. It's just that we don't know if Jessica can use a Valentina against the Sora.
Yeah, maybe more on... Okay, so this time Seda gets the Claude. That's another thing.
So does Galaxy Phoenix take the Bruno?
I'm not sure if the Bruno is the next option. But the Eve makes you a bit iffy about the Harith, yes.
If they want the Akai, they gotta take it now. If not, it's gonna get back. A Ling! Honestly, quite early. For now, I think it's a Lingable game. But there's some EXPs, there's some roamers that will make Ling's life a little bit difficult. One of them is the Fovea, so they take that out.
Yeah, it's a very aggressive start for Galaxy Phoenix to go for the Ling and the Sora together. Well, they do get to take out some of the counters, however, but...
By the way, for Seda specifically, this is the first time they've ran Boxia, Claude, and Eve. Those three have not been used in the previous 2 maps that we have seen just before on Flying Clouds. So they're going for something totally different and fresh.
Oh, they banned out the Bruno, yeah.
Hey, even they're like, hey, I know how strong a Bruno is going up against a Claude. There's still counters, there's still the Leslie, there's still the Clint.
Wait, oh yeah, the carry's banned.
Yes. Thank you for interrupting. Anyways, I'm just kidding. It looks like Seda, they're just going for the default, what's the best hero in the meta right now, right? So they've done the cheese, and they think that Galaxy Phoenix might be expecting that, so we go the other way around and go for the most obvious ones. Unless somehow the last 2 picks really turn the entire draft around.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, a Kufra maybe? I mean, you guys have seen it once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And against a Ling, maybe, but I don't think it's going to complement the draft as much. Like, you don't really get to see really pick-off-centric heroes just yet for Seda. There's a lot of damage you could expect from the Claude, but that's going to come in later on. Just stopping the Ling, if that's going to be the mindset for Seda, maybe, but... Let's see for now. Galaxy Phoenix have to yet pick up their mid lane as well as their gold lane. This is the first time they're not going to be on a Claude.
Moskov is not bad, also an option. But if they just want a direct counter, having a burst heavy hero like Clint or Leslie would help. But if that's the option, maybe they'll pick it up later. For now, Brig, I gotta say, in MWI, there's not a lot of lockdown heroes to really deal with picks like the Ling. So maybe they just go for pure tankiness, right? Something like the Rizzler might be okay. And then in terms of the roam, the Atlas is still open.
Oh yeah, honestly. I really wanted to see a pushing gold lane for Galaxy Phoenix. However, they stick with the Harith, so they might just want to take on team fight before those, or rather than the likes of the Moskov. Seda now, again, you mentioned the Atlas. Yes, it is going to be available. Anything that can just really interrupt the Harith from freely using the Zaman Force, and maybe the dashes from the Ling, since the Phoveus is also out. The Gatot is actually still there too, but they go for the high loss, a quick stun.
Not the kind of idea I would think about lockdown. However, I do have to say the Law and Order is a very easy click stun. So able to stop the Ling long enough if they have the damage, which Eve 2 items honestly should be enough damage to, if not kill the Ling, make sure the Ling is no longer there. And the Benedetta does get picked up to deal with the Sora, so that's more of a skill matchup if anything.
Yeah, so maybe more on the Benedetta actually being the help eventually later on, but mid lane for Galaxy Phoenix. So far, it's been a very flexible hero pool for Sophia. But considering this lineup right here...
Don't you wish you had a Valier?
No, they took it out.
Yeah, but, you know, that's what I mean.
I agree.
Valier would have been perfect here.
What is it there? There's a Lilia?
Honestly, Lilia is probably the best pick. It's just that Eve counters Lilia quite hard because the burst is quite a lot. So they go for the Farsa here. I gotta say, maybe not the very best because Benedetta, high loss, as well as Claude deals with you. But hey, if you kill people early, then it doesn't matter.
Yep, it's a Farsa Ling. It's been a while since we saw this lineup. Really heavy burst damage too. Hopefully they get the early game that they want.
And Seda Esports for the first time goes with an entirely different hero pool for the third and final matchup to determine who moves forward and who goes home. Seda Esports, Galaxy Phoenix, an elimination matchup here in the knockout bracket. Athena, Gideon, let's get it started.
Thank you so much, Reflections. Here at MWI, at EWC, things are spicing up as both of these teams are fighting for tournament lives. One singular game could push them even further for not only their own region, but for their organization. Let's jump right into the Land of Dawn here, because this is going to be another Ling game coming up from Galaxy Phoenix. And the last time we saw Ling on Galaxy Phoenix, we were looking at 30 points worth of kills coming up from Fa.
And that's exactly what they want to somehow manifest yet again. To get the kills rolling, be dominant as ever if you're Galaxy Phoenix. And you're right about the Reflections that map 2 or game 2 might just be the nightmare if they don't get this last point against Zeta.
And now they're taking advantage. Oh, Sophia stole away that one camp. Now Jessica has to give this camp over if they steal it away as well. And deny level 2, that's perfect. Can you get the small camp as well? They'll manage to share it just enough. And now Zoe is still level 1.
Oh no, there's going to be a taunt here by GXP. They're trying to chase down Joe and Midget First Blood. They saw the chance, they took it, and they might go for a double, but nope. It's going to be Fa yet again, changing her mind. Fangua, just a little bit of a defend there and preventing from things from de-escalating here for Zeta.
Beautifully played, beautifully played. A great response from both sides. The instant invade, the set play to try and take both of the camps. It was so close for being good, but unfortunately, GXP responded very, very well, noticing, hey, wait a minute, these motions are a little weird from the side of their mid laners, and especially their supports. Now, as this game continues to progress, and more importantly, looking at the emblems, nothing too out of the ordinary. This time, we have to keep in mind that Sophia is going to scale really, really well with that Weapons Master for the later stages of the game.
You could definitely expect a change of facing here for Sophia, and they have this plenty of burst. So for GXP, it's all about the kills later on, and Zeta has to really watch out for those kinds of setup here. Lemma with the Balearic as well did a fantastic job in the previous games as well. So for Zeta, it's all about setting the faster flashes here for Fanwa, and Sophia goes in with a feathered airstrike taunt as well. Definitely an easy kill yet again for Fa, and Joe taking out in the process. Now they smoothly transition onto taking down a neutral objective.
Beautiful layered play coming in from GXP, but Jessica, Electro final blow and even petrified to try to get a trade.
Okay, that's too flashy of a move, but still, that is an easy turtle, a secure turtle here for GXP. Now, we might take a closer look later on onto the Benedetta of Jessica 6 on what she can do. Can she do miracles with it, right?
Yep, GXP, they're going to have to try their best here. Zoe now trying to set up another gank on that top side.
Hey.
Without Petrify, it's going to be a little bit harder, but unfortunately for Ling, overstayed in the lane, didn't have the ult to punish.
Okay, that is something that Zeta could capitalize on. GXP, on the other hand, is taking few steps at a time here, taking their time before they go all in against Zeta. It's all about maintaining composure here for game number 3, because a lot of emotions were included for game on number 2. Sophia carrying up the last bits of minions, just zoning up members here for Zeta, and Fa yet again targeting Name. Tempest of Blades, going in for the first blade, second blade, third blade, and Lemma together with the rest of the gang will not be able to finish off and defend here for Fa. Bit of an overstay in my opinion here for GXP.
Yeah, I can't understand. Why force it out? You already pushed them out of position, and at that point, you just need to get on out of there. And now looking at how this game is starting to progress, this is not going to be too great. Zeta can actually bounce back because of that one mistake, and now the dive here on the bottom side.
Okay, Winnie, just enjoying her Salmon Force. Just enough of a tower hug to prevent things from escalating against Zeta.
I do want to come back to the point that this is such a high-stakes game, and the emotions were so incredibly high as well. Like, Jessica, after game number 2, was already shaking off of that, and now needs to play a high-mechanic hero. It's not like Sora, where you press a couple of buttons and you feel good about yourself. Benedetta's timing needs to be precise and sharp. You can have the biggest impact or little to nothing if you whiff all of your abilities.
Did she have enough of a break to actually calm down her nerves and go through with Miracle Team's team fight setup play here for Zeta? But for GXP, on the other hand, I do understand there might be some kind of a frustration. There were so many missed moments. And for game number 2, it's now or never. There's no more turning back, no more lower bracket climb up. But now for Seda, they focus fire onto the objective, Ling onto the front line, targeting Zoe, forcing out the transformation here, while Name plans in the RWM. Most of the GXP members here just try and take their time before they go all in with a feathered Ursak. Ling with a follow-up with Lema as well. Depths of Blades committed just right on track here, and Joe can do nothing but try to run away as the very passive here for Sophia will ensure that kill.
All right. Pretty interesting. There was a couple of moments there that I was thinking whether Ling wants to weave in some auto attacks onto the Hylos to build up some charge. Maybe could have turned that around a little bit sooner, but even so, they can't win this per se. They don't have Retribution. Jessica on the chase against Fa might actually get him, but there's no Petrify.
Okay, she's risking to get it all, but Electofindable, she has to run away, but Sati though, she runs into Winnie with the rest of the gang giving off their all. It's an immediate alternative and an intervention here for GXP.
I think GXP is starting to lose composure here, right? The strength of their bond is there. They've got the mechanics, but they don't seem to be talking to each other as much as they need to be. We need to see that teamwork actually come through to get these clean styles of play that we expect from them. Seda, on the other hand, now, despite it being a 2.5K, Seda still has a great opportunity of actually turning this around. Jessica has done good work, and even though Zoe has died 3 times, it was at somebody else's expense. Sometimes even Fa made a mistake in even dying. On that top side, at least the waves are being cleared up, but GXP now want to take the initiative. They don't want to be passive.
It's all about the skills right now for Seda. And definitely, it's evident that Jessica has that. But now, it's all about maintaining and trying to take control of the situation. Plus, also not letting GXP corner them out with the macro yet again. And now, it's all about balancing out the waves. And Winnie is winning on the Gold Day matchup. That's 4 members of GXP targeting Fanwa alone. Girls Pathway just to try and disengage. Now she comes back. There will be quite a stun here, but Ling and the others will just slowly retreat back.
Unfortunately, Ling doesn't have her flicker up just yet. I think there was a moment where they were thinking, if maybe I get the dash down, I could maybe flick onto like Name or maybe even Gai and try to trigger something, but didn't have the battle spell, don't have access to it. Fanwa does lose not only her ult, but also the Revitalize, which is pretty important because in the next 20 seconds, the next turtle is going to spawn, and she's going to have to wait another 23 seconds or so to get it back up in the middle of that fight. So unless GXP recognize that timing, they could maybe try and force this, but Seda want to take first position.
Okay, it's all about them trying to capitalize on what Joe can do here with the backshot, right? They have this beautiful setup. They just can't seem to do it right for now. But for GXP, that is somehow... Let's see, if they were able to somehow compose themselves, there were a kind of a bit of which she's going to spot on Fanwa here. It's going in. Okay, there's going to be law and order. Sophia with the feathered earth strike forces out Name out of position. Lema with a fragile giant. Ling targeting 2 members of the row, and Fa just targeted Name onto the back lines with the Tempest of Blaze. Beautiful play here, chased down by GXP. Now we're talking. Now they are very disciplined and have this plan in mind, and the plan is to kill before taking down an objective.
What an outplay coming in from Ling. The Wrath of the Dryads as a follow-up was already great, but that Wombo combo is what GXP needs to secure this Lord right here, right now, to start a bigger advantage. And they were 5K ahead. Now they're going to turn it closer to 7 to 8K, depending on whether or not Seda can stop this pressure, stop this momentum. They will lose some outer turrets for this, but how much gold will they bleed?
For now, it's looking like too much, right? But for Seda, they have this Benedetta that could be one of the somehow a tricky part here for Seda that could actually reach the backlines. But the problem is that they also have to ensure that someone is ready and willing enough to somehow clear off the last bits of the lane.
Yeah, what a build. Hyper burst build. I haven't seen this in a while, in a long while, as a matter of fact. Heptasis on top of the endless battle, making sure that if Jessica does find that backline access and able to close the distance, they might be able to one-shot target.
But the ones closing the distance are GXP! With Ling yet again with a miracle set up, Winnie enabled to get those chrono dashes, the synchrovisions in. Now they punch in from the air. Fa goes in with a perfect timing. Tempest of Blades, getting gold of those blades, eliminating 4 members. It's just Jessica 6 is remaining to defend for their base. So Holy Shields will be popping off bottom and even onto onto the mid lane. GXP has their eyes on their prize.
Clear the wave.
They want to clear off the wave. They want to ensure a victory, and Jessica66 has the proper kits to actually prevent GXP from actually ending up this game number 3.
And that's a good thing about Benedetta actually building a lot of damage. It's moments like this, yes, I can actually deal with the waves more effectively rather than having to wait for my War Axe to give me the stats over time. I can clear it right now. And that's what Seda needs. Instant impact. GXP on the opposite side, they can take their time a little bit because they're still waiting for the big ultimates from the side of Seda. The RWM, maybe even the Glorious Pathway. But notice that they're putting a lot of their attention onto Zoe and Fanhua. Without that front line, you can tell that Seda kind of lose direction of who really is the anchor of the team. And keep in mind, it should be Name.
And so far, Name is having a really hard time landing those beautiful blocks where she could catch most of the members for GXP. Sophia is actually doing a stellar job. In contrast with her feathered airstrikes, really right on cue, hitting the right marks, plus an additional finishing move from Fa, right? All she needs to do is come at the later time, finish off, get those skills running, and for GXP, it's kind of going more smoothly compared to what happened onto game number 2. Looks like they got it all together for now.
For now, the question is, when is it going to be enough to overtake it? It's 4-14 still with an 8K lead. The economy is in GXP's side. Third item already complete from Winnie, so that's her power spike right here. Unless Guy has 3 items, I don't know how they're going to compete.
Let's see. Because for now, the action is, or maybe the plan is just to survive for now and just let Guy get last bits of the minion and try to buy enough time for their items to slowly catch up from GXP. They've managed to do that from game number 2, but for now, it's all up to Jessica66 also to pull off some insane backline maneuvers against GXP to try and shut down most of the damages coming here from Winnie or either Sophia.
Oh, this is interesting. Seda wanted to deny information. They end up showing down on bot side, and instantly GXP decide to rush it. Good informational play here from the side of GXP. And I think that Seda, they also recognize that this is not exactly the most contestable position. They don't want to group up against GXP. There's just way too many things going on with their composition. Lots of AoE CC, lots of way to finish them off, lots of way to hurt them before they get into the fight. So it's better, in Seda's mind, hey, GXP, you come to us rather than the other way around.
Yep, it will save them a lot of time and a lot of heavy mistakes, if ever. Because if they force out and they make a slight mistake, that might be the end of it, right? A 12-minute game time, almost 9K gold lead. Jessica66 being spotted here by Sophia. Now she's forced to back away. With the dashes, it will be enough. But for GXP, this game is just starting to get even better. Now Fanhua, half an HP left as well. There's going to be the stuns here from Sophia and Ling as well. The Lord will be melted down, but this ensures a quick entry point onto the mid lane by Galaxy Phoenix.
Good play coming in from Jessica, trying her best attempt onto Winnie, but Winnie one step ahead, already buffering in, taking advantage of the new patch and its control system as now the next fight occurs.
Okay, they managed to actually go out of the range.
Whoa.
Right here for Guy, and now they go in. It's Ling yet again, finding the right angles. Name risking it all with the RWM, but with a Tempest of they will be able to finish off 2 members, making it 3. A triple kill for Fa!
4 of them already low, put down to 20 or 10%, and yet Fa somehow taking turret aggro manages to survive through all the pain. It's not over just yet. Another feathered airstrike as this is the endgame scenario.
It looks like Galaxy Phoenix is willing to risk it all, years in the making, and they want to take this game. But Jessica66 and together with Joe, they want to extend this one. But Fa and the others just want today this game to end it to their favor, and they will successfully do so. It's Galaxy Phoenix taking on the win.
Galaxy Phoenix 2-1, what a game! We finally get to see the full extent of this team when they're behind, when they're ahead. But with competitors, always comes the crushing defeat. And it hurts my heart seeing Seda, who put so much on the line here today. Blood, sweat, and tears, and yet it still wasn't enough. These last moments, they realized really quickly they staggered us too much. The death timers are too long. The impending doom is near. And my God, are we going to have some great competitors for our upcoming battles? But I can't wait to see these two teams maybe showing up next year once again to bring up their regions.
Definitely a very nice and a very proudest moment here for Chinese MLBB to be put onto the map for MWI.
All right, let's throw it up to the stage here to see the crushing.
Have our winners of Galaxy Phoenix. Congratulations, and of course Seda. So we will do the key handovers, and thank you so much, Seda. That was an incredible showing. You guys fought valiantly, but your journey ends here. Thank you, Seda. So now, congratulations to Galaxy Phoenix. You guys have risen to the occasion, and of course extending that tournament life. How does it feel holding that key of Seda in your hands right now?
We feel so excited and happy.
And happy. Earlier on in the interview, before the match started, you guys said that you're proud to be here and proud to represent Cambodia. And I think, and I'm sure that they're all very proud back home. Is there anything you would love to say to all of the fans out there? You can say it in Khmer as well.
លទ្ធផលមួយនេះខ្ញុំនឹងសន្យាថាខ្ញុំនឹងយកឈានទៅដល់អាចនិយាយបានថា Grand Final ជូនទៅអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នានៅក្នុងប្រទេសកម្ពុជា
One step closer to the finals, and this is Galaxy Phoenix. Now the next one, the potential matchup will be against Team Ray Young or Navi Philippines. Who do you think you might meet?
I think it's Navi.
You think you might meet Navi?
Yes.
All right. So hopefully in the matchup later, you might actually see them. Congratulations once more to Galaxy Phoenix, the best showing so far right here. And of course, take your walk of victory.
Okay, Galaxy Phoenix, phenomenal performance yet again, their first time at an international event. And this is how they decide to show up. You cannot make it up, ladies and gentlemen. This type of performance representing Cambodia, a region that some people might not have known how godlike, how phenomenal they are in the world of MLBB. Oh, it's about that time, yeah. Gotta be heartless with it sometimes. It's about wins and losses. Be careful. Okay. She didn't push it all the way through. Okay, we're giving a little bit more or no? Oh, oh my goodness. Are you? It's okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. The key crusher, it was so much right there. But ladies and gentlemen, that type of energy right there, that's what we saw in the gameplay as well. Congratulations again to Galaxy Phoenix. Let's go ahead and check out our highlights.
To move, not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
On their very first international stage, Galaxy Phoenix gets the job done. It wasn't easy, however, it was our first ever Third match in a best of 3 here on this very stage, but it was entertaining nonetheless. And one name that was being screamed, Bree, was Fa, the mercenary, making it happen.
My boy, Fa.
So talented, so talented. This jungler, I am now agreeing with LaFell when we say that she just might be one of the best that you have to watch out for here in this tournament.
The mercenary, man. Like, she gets the job done, but shout out to Seda as well. That was an amazing play. Like, we can feel the emotions, even though, like, we're quite a distance away.
Right.
True wins, true losses. I hope they come back next year.
You know, they were built specifically for MWI. They joined the stage. They made it to the knockout stage. That is a huge accomplishment to finish 5th through 8th, and one of their first appearances here on the international stage. You've got to give credit where credit is due. And you, like you said, the emotions, you could feel that from Jessica, especially after that Game 2 win. She really wanted it, but at the end of the day, it wasn't Seda Esports moving forward. But making it to the stage was a massive accomplishment. Shout out to Seda, Galaxy Phoenix, and shout out to Sora. It's Sora Day, and Sora gets the win again.
100%. How crazy that is this? What, almost 5 hours?
I know.
Of our show, and every single time Sora sees the Land of Dawn, he wins. And how many flying clouds have we had?
That's 3 here in the series. All 3.
Crazy.
More than the Esmeralda even, right? You were expecting, like, because of the adjustments, the Esmeralda to be the XP laner that's really gonna shine. I mean, she did a couple times, but today, why has it been always Sora? Sora has been making waves, the setups have been on point, and the matchups, they are always winning it out in the EXP lane.
Seems to be the case. Sora, Grand Finals, you're a champion. That's really what it takes, right? Again, looking at the players' emotions, still feeling so much for the team of Seda. They really gave it their all, and shout out to the ladies, of course, for doing it. And shout out to Fanwall, too, coming in as a sub and playing so incredibly well and getting this roster to the main stage. But Galaxy Phoenix continuing to move forward. They are looking unstoppable.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I feel like even though they lost in game number 2, I think they already took some notes on what worked and what didn't work, right? Because if you want to become champions, honestly, getting 1 or 2 losses here and there is going to be very beneficial, because if you keep on winning by grand finals, if you did lose one game, you have no idea how to recover.
There's no better way to discover more of what could be improved than before the grand finals. And they said it themselves. They think it's going to be Na'Vi. They want to go up against Na'Vi in the semifinals before eventually getting there. So that's an interesting pick, because I believe the record has been much smoother for Team Ray Young.
Ray Young has definitely been looking great. The record has been a bit smoother. However, it doesn't matter if it's smooth, rocky, choppy, as long as you get there. That's all that matters at the end of the day. For Galaxy Phoenix, yes, they drop a map, but they still ended up crushing the key of Seda Esports. They will move forward, but the question is, who is going to be their opponent? Well, we'll have to answer that in just a little bit. To recap this match even further, let's take a look at one of our first moments of the game, at least that we wanted to break down, because there was plenty of them, and a lot of moments making you two go absolutely insane. This is our first one, 9-minute mark. Bree, what are we looking at?
Okay, this was a moment where I feel like you get to see how willing they are to just go in for the dives, and that setup you see from a Sora all over again. Just imagine that delayed Wrath of Dryad into the setup that was actually going to be the main center of attraction for this sequence. It's just so great to think how GXP mastered the way that they tend to pull out their team fights.
Hey, big moves from them. Second moments. Actually, we're going to go, I think, favorite moment for us anyways. We get to watch the commentators once again reacting to that map number 3. Let's see how crazy they were getting.
Hey, they managed to actually go out of the ring of the crossfire here for Guy, and now they go in. It's Ling yet again, finding the right angles. Name risking it all with the RWM, but Fa with a Tempest of Blade will be able to finish off 2 members, making it 3, a triple kill for Fa.
4 of them already low, put down to 20 or 10%, and yet Fa somehow taking turret aggro manages to survive through all the pain. It's not over just yet. Another feathered airstrike, as this is the endgame scenario.
Pure passion, and this time I felt they were ready for the caster count this time around. Because notice Athena was standing up. She's like, I'm not getting caught off guard again.
I gotta say, Gideon is very expressive.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like, whenever you see him, it's like his thoughts move faster than his brain really can process. Shout outs to Briggs. We don't always get to work together
I know.
for this MWI. But I miss working with you, man.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun.
She's my boy.
Yeah?
We've been screaming. You see us, you hear
You guys
us.
have been going
and,
crazy. You guys have been
I think
going
it's not
crazy.
just Gideon who's very expressive.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Off cam, we are as expressive as Gideon.
Absolutely. And speaking of expressive, Rose ended up grabbing a couple of our players for the post-match interview. Let's listen in.
Hey guys, Fanhua here from Aseta. Although a reverse sweep was not granted, we'd still like to have a little chat with her regarding her journey in the MWI. Now, Fanhua, we know that this is the furthest your region has gone in an international tournament. An amazing one, if you ask me, and you guys look extremely strong. But I gotta ask you personally, how has your experience been like this MWI?
As you know, our team is first time come up to the international stage, and for our whole team, I think we didn't imagine we can go so far as to get this time. But I'm looking forward maybe next year or next year we can get a better result.
Oh, this result to me is amazing. Honestly, I counted on you guys as the underdogs because from match 1 up until now, you guys always had such a great fighting spirit. Now, I gotta ask you, what more can we expect from your region, China, in the upcoming tournaments?
I'm expecting like our regions, no matter which is like women LBB or like men's the game. I expected our score maybe next year will be better and better.
We just keep on improving. Now, Fanhua, is there any message that you have to give to the Chinese fans watching back at home?
Thank you guys for all the support, and I believe next year we'll do better.
Jayo, good luck, Fanhua, and I hope to see you again next year. That's it from us.
Thank you, Rhodes, as always, for the interview. Staying in high spirits is Seda Esports. They want to come back even stronger. This was just their first appearance. Imagine what they can do next time. I've got full faith in that roster to continue to be able to push forward and pull off incredible feats at the MWI. Hey, we've got a lot of watch parties taking place, a lot of coverage in general, and this next one is going to be special. It's Zay Casting. Let's bring him in because Zay Casting is keeping all the coverage for the MWI out there for everybody involved. And I tell you what, it's been a great time speaking to some of these influencers. Zay, how you feeling?
Hey, I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm phenomenal, man. How are you enjoying MWI?
I really enjoy it. You know, this is my first time international experience as a official restreamer. So I really enjoyed it. I'm really thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you, Mundon. Thank you, EWC. Thank you, man.
And thank you, Zay Casting. Let me ask you something. A lot has changed. What do you think about the current meta?
Current meta is, you know, they nerf Fredring like Juriba Jungle, Basha. So I think it's nice. I like this meta. You know, they can use like Link. They play Link like Assassin are really good in this meta. I think, yeah. So I really like it.
And Sora also apparently has been tearing it up. Hey, Zay Casting, thank you so much for all your coverage and everything you do. The MWI will continue, but like I said, shout out to you, Zay, for being who you are as an incredible influencer, and thank you for the coverage and the watch party. Hey, check it out. My Champion Pick is now live. 2 champions, 1 game. My Champions Pick is now live from July 27th. You can submit your predictions for the MSC and MWI champions for a chance to win 50,000 in-game diamonds and MSC 2021 through 2025 tournament skins. Don't forget to leave your picks under @MLBB Esports post for even more chances to win. Lock in your champions now and cheer for your favorite teams. My Champion Pick live now. Get involved. I'm hearing Rose is also set up with yet another interview. Rose, who did you get?
Two Indonesians representatives going up against each other in this elimination match. This is Vival and Liv, and we're gonna have a little chat before we head into the game. Hi girls, how are we doing today?
I'm good, very good.
Yeah, I'm great too.
How did you girls react when you found out it was gonna be an Indo-Indo match just now?
I'm in shock, really in shock.
Actually, it's as expected.
Okay, now since an Indo-Indo match is happening very early on, is there anything that we should expect from the game? Is it gonna be fun? Is it gonna be long? What do you think is gonna happen, Vival?
I don't think there will be anything special. I think it's going to be pretty much the same showdown like previously, like in Battle of Gamehurst and like the previous meetings that we had.
What about for the sides of Falcons ID? Aren't you guys scared? Because you guys played a game today. Are you scared that they will read your strats and everything?